Coach, just kind of, I guess, overall thoughts of the game, and get the win, but maybe not the crispest performance in the world.
The goal was to get the win, and the goal was to be 1-0, and I think that's what we accomplished. And it's good to get a win and not, really live up to the standard that you feel like you're expected to play to, and we'll learn from all that. And there's a lot of learns in this tape, and obviously we made it really interesting at the end of the game, but to not, really execute in a lot of phases of the game the way that we're capable of executing. I think this will be a good, hard week of practice and get ready to get back to work. So I know this. When we watch the film Monday morning, there's going to be a lot of learns from this. And you'll do that anytime I'm 1-0. But I told them, this is not going to steal our joy. We just won a football game. We're going to keep working our tails off to get better and keep improving.
Just kind of with that, I mean, is it a little easier, to kind of look back and find the kind of the places to work on and the things to iron out when you can look back at this at a win and not have to say, all right, we made all these mistakes and lost, and where you can say, all right, we made some mistakes, but still managed to get, the most important stat, which is, the one.
The best way to learn is from a win, and that's what we're going to have an opportunity to do, right? So, yeah, we can pick apart a lot of things. I mean, the takeaways, to win a game when you're down that much in the takeaway column, it's hard, obviously, till the end. That one adds a good icing, and Deon made a great play, but hats off to Idaho. They were prepared. They were ready to go. They played their tail off. They took all the shots. They played aggressive, and, it was a hard-fought win.
If you had to name yourself maybe a player, a couple players of the game, guys who really stood out to you, who would you say they were?
Well, right now I think defensively, Shaw stands out, just making a couple plays, especially down the field, even in zone coverage. Deon flashed a little bit. He needs to be more consistent, and I still think Brenden Jackson, a couple big sacks out there, making big plays, good energy on the sideline. Those guys stand out to me right now. Strib gutted through a little bit of an ankle injury to score that touchdown in the second half, and Nakia had the one fumble, but I think he ran like the guy that we feel like he can between the tackles. So there's positives. There's positives. I'm not freaking out. No one's freaking out. This team will come prepared and ready to work because there's a lot of things to learn from this film.
How much could you sense kind of just the advantage in speed and physicality for you guys on defense? Because it seemed like, especially with the defensive front, was getting through quite a bit.
Yeah, I think we're going to lean on our front all year, so I don't think that was a surprise going into the game that we felt like that could be an advantage for us. But we knew that they would pick and choose their spots to try to hit us down the field. Unfortunately, when they did go down the field, they hit, and that was the majority of their yards throughout the football game. So I still think we can improve a little bit in our pass rush and our disruption and doing some of those things. But, at the end of the day, we got the stops that we needed to win the game.
Did you sense maybe a little bit of, just first game running the new offense, maybe a little bit of jitters out there early? It seemed like it started to click, obviously, as the game progressed, but maybe the first few drives.
There's some execution that we need to grow and get better at. I think that's what I took away, and the stuff on the headset is just getting to the point where, we need to execute at a higher level, right? And that's taking care of the ball. That's every man doing their job. I thought the offensive line, for the most part, played really well, kept Cam upright, and opened up some holes in the run game. So, like I said, there's positives to build off of here, but I think our execution level as we continue to grow needs to be better, and I think we'll be even more comfortable next week.
Coach, what was the biggest surprise for you today?
I wouldn't call it a surprise. We've talked all week about having a 60-minute football game and being in a battle and being in a war, and this test that we got today is going to help us throughout the season. It just really is. Right? We got to see a little bit what we're made of. Things weren't going our way. You get the emotions of the game, but there's an expectation, and I think our guys want to play better and want to execute better, right? So I'm not going to walk away being negative here. We're going to take the win, and we're going to continue to work, and hats off to Idaho.
Coach Jackson had some incredible plays on defense today. What can you speak on his testament to his leadership role on this defense?
Well, I think Brendan's one of those guys that just comes every day ready to work, and he knows one speed and it is full throttle. And the Brenden Jackson that you see on game days is the Brenden Jackson I get to see 24/7, 365. Right? He's a great person. He works his tail off. He's more of a guy that leads by doing. Right? And when you show the clips of a guy that plays that hard, I think it's pretty special, and guys feed off that.
Hidley had an all-around game on defense and then ends with that interception. I guess just what do you see from him as a whole, but also just on that last play of the defense there?
I think Deon, as you started off as a receiver, as you go throughout his career, he's had a good amount of interceptions. He just has the knack for finding the ball. And I think there's a couple things with Deon and the run fit that we can clean up a little bit and just allow him to play free and more aggressive. So he's one of those guys that plays on field, and every once in a while that can get you in trouble. But every once in a while he's just in the right position. He's there to make big plays. So he's an explosive guy that's playing hard, is understanding even more what we do, and I think big things will be coming from him.
Coach, Jalen Jenkins' first collegiate carry was a fumble, and then he bounced back with a touchdown later on. How do you think he bounced back, and how did he perform well in this game?
Well, I think it's just one of those things. It's a little early nerves maybe, but I think he did a good job of making somebody miss and taking the ball down the field and just didn't secure it as we went through it. And we talked about it back at halftime. Let's go back to Jalen, right? Let's pick him up. Let's get him a carry early in the second half, and he's going to keep providing that spark. And I think that's a big part that he'll learn and grow from that. But also, we got to continue to run the football and do good things, and Jalen will be a part of that.
Coach, apologies if you've already been asked this. Us TV folks just came in running and gunning here. I saw the handshake with Coach Eck. I know you guys are good friends. Just what did you guys talk about?
Well, I just said, he said I won't share exactly what he said because he's a funny guy. But at the same time, I knew he was going to be aggressive. I knew he was going to take all the shots. I just congratulated him on having his team prepared and wished him best of luck on the rest of the season. And, I mean that. And he did the same thing, and he wanted us to go give him hell next week at Wisconsin. And he's ready to, hopefully continue their journey on as they go throughout the season and turn that program around as well.
And I'm sure you already talked about this at the very beginning. I'm sorry again, but just your overall thoughts on the game from your guys' perspective.
I think the biggest thing is we're not going to be down about a win. That's the biggest thing. And our guys expect to play better, and I'm happy for that, right? I'm happy for wanting to do more, but, you got to look that man in the mirror, and there's going to be 125 guys in that locker room that got to come back ready to work come Monday morning watching this film.
Hi, Coach. It seemed like in the second half, with Idaho having the time of possession advantage, that you guys put a much more heavy emphasis on, giving more carries to the running backs. What was that something you talked about during halftime, just kind of shifting to the run game a little bit or having more of a balance between the pass and the run?
I think the biggest thing is we wanted to get more tempo going. I think they did a good job. Every time we subbed a little bit, they would slow jog on the field and slow down our tempo. So, we want to go into the second half just not going in and out as much, right? We want to play at a tempo. We want to get a feel. We want to go. We can score fast when, and I think got an opportunity to see those a couple times as we kind of went throughout the game. But just more consistency, and I think that'll lead to future success. I'm still excited about all the pieces that we have and what we can do, and offense will come back and learn and grow and be better for it.
Coach, what do you think your team can take away from getting a game like this, a grinder, one that comes down to the final possession in the very first week of the season?
Well, I think you learn who you are. Our guys didn't quit. Our guys didn't panic. They stayed the course on the sideline. It wasn't always perfect. Things didn't always go our way. So, you learn a little bit about who you are. And I think, we got a team that wants to be successful, and they're going to want to come in. And I bet there's a lot of guys early watching this tape and how we can get better and how we can execute to be a little bit more efficient. So that's what I fully expect from this football team. We're going to respond to this, right? And we won the game. Guys, we won a game. Okay, we won the game. I understand all these questions. We won the game, okay? And we'll learn from every part of this. And some of it, the old coach says, oh, maybe it's a good thing, right? No, we want to execute better. We can play better, and we know that. We'll realize that. But we won the game, okay? And that was the one mission coming in.
Guys, we have time for more questions if you need it. Austin, I know TV's got in a little late.
You got it, Don. All right. Just could you revisit Cam's play tonight, just what you saw from him, and I know you haven't been able to look at all the tape yet.
I think the biggest thing is Cam is the ultimate competitor, and that's what I love about him, right? And, there's a lot of things that we can grow, and everyone looks to him as the first guy, and I think he accepts that responsibility. And we talk about pressure as a privilege, and I love it, right, for both of us, right? So we're still learning and growing in our relationship, right? But I fully trust Cam, right? Cam has the keys to the car. I'm just fully excited that Cam is here, and there's just going to be so much positivity that's going to come from this. I know it. He knows it, right? He's a big-time football player. We guys got to do some better things around him. There's a lot of busted routes that we got to clean up a little bit, and I just think we can execute better, and he'll be the first one to take ownership and know that he can grow too, and that's what I love about Cam, because he's got the maturity too to know that he's gonna, really get this team back going. It's gonna start with him come Monday morning.
Hey, Coach. Sorry if I'm a little late, but obviously 3 fumbles throughout that first quarter. What was that message in the halftime locker room, trying to get that offense going throughout that second half for you?
Well, the biggest thing is we survived their best shot. I don't know if you look at the whole spectrum, if we could have done more to hurt ourselves and put ourselves in that hole, but to dig back out of it and get to, essentially 0-0 at halftime. I mean, we survived a lot of their best things, and that could have went completely the other way, right? So defense hanging in there, getting some takeaways of themselves, offense churning some things out, and then rolling through it. So, I think you got to take some positives that we hung in there and we had the mentality not to panic.